This is my 1985 Porsche 944 that I'm finishing off swapping a VW 5-cylinder into this week. So that way I can get it tuned this weekend, and on that note, let's jump right into it. Oh my god, I'm stuck. The only question is it the right one though?
Because of this mess. You have got to be kidding me.
Alright, wait. Hold on. Before we really get into it, we have to go over what's left of the swap, because I've already put the motor into it. All we really need to do is the finishing details. So, if you want to know what's already been done, watch this video right here as I go over in detail about the custom parts I made and what I've already been doing. So, go watch that. Otherwise, here's what's left. We have to clean up the interior, hook up the throttle, mount the electronics, finish the engine bay wiring, finish the interior wiring, achieve a stable idle, test and tune, and take her for a rip, bud. And all of this has to be done this week. I'm giving myself this challenge because I've really been neglecting this car, and honestly, someone's probably taking it away from me. But I really want to drive it before the snow flies, so let's dive in.
Alright, so I need to get this project done because the tuner is going to work on it this weekend. Currently it's Monday, we need to get it done, and we're on a crunch, and I can tell you right now, I already made a mistake. I ordered the wrong part for the block for the dash, so I need a new one of these. So hopefully it'll be here Thursday. So we'll see. So a couple more things we have to do to get ready for this weekend is we have to attach the ECU to, or actually where the old ECU went, which is going to go right up here. We've got to fix the fuse block, which is just hanging here. Mount up this gauge, which I believe I'm going to replace the clock with, so that's going to go over there. To mount up my actual control panel, so this one is one I've been using. And then mount up where all the solid-state relays go. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be somewhere in the footwell. We have to figure out where we want it to go. As well as we have to fix the, you can't really see it in here because there's a whole bunch of shit in here, but the throttle pedal needs to be attached to the throttle cable, and that'll work. The clutch works, the brakes work, and stuff like that. So let's dig into it. Oh, and then one more thing. We need to fix the shifter boot, and then maybe the glove box. Yep. All right, so first things first. You can see the pedal back there, and you can actually see the wire right back there, of course, back there. So it's already ran in there, but we have to take the pedal out because it doesn't fit. Basically, there's a pin that goes through the cable, and you can see, I see the hole there. That doesn't fit because the top of the pedal is too tall, or like basically too big. So we're gonna have to take this pedal out and then grind that down and then put it back in. So let's go.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Alright, we got it out.
Now to make that a little bit bigger, and then round those edges off so it's focused. There you go. See, she's all rounded off there and ready to go back in. And yeah, let's get it back in.
Oh, hopefully this doesn't come loose, right?
So now all we have to do is just this little screw on there. So we pull the Allen out of this. So then we'll pull it tight, and then we will scoot this nut up and then get it in place. So yeah.
Bada bing,
Bada boom. She's done. Perfect.
Alright, it's Tuesday, and we have some more work on the interior here. But yesterday, we got the pedal assembly in, and then we got the throttle plate working, and that all figured out. And then yesterday, you guys could see that we got the full range of motion on the throttle plate. So that's good. That's all hooked up. I trimmed the cable off last night before I took off, but this is all set up. This is in there, so that's good. Now we have full range of motion on the throttle. Now, luckily, I've actually already bled the clutch in this thing. It's notoriously hard, but you know, I think I did it over like a week of just like getting the car tipped up, bleeding it, or you know, pushing the pedal, filling it full of fluid, as much as I could do, and it worked, as far as I know. So we had to test that out.
The bigger thing is I gotta get all the crap out of here. I mean, why is there a pickleball set in here? Why is there a whole ass pickleball set in here? My helmet, axles, crap in the back seat, crap in the back hatch, but let's get all that pulled out of there so we can keep working on this thing.
because today we're going to mount the ECU on the underside of the dash, and we're going to find a spot for the solid-state relay block, and then after that, I think we're doing shifter as well. So yeah, let's do it. All right, we got the interior cleaned up pretty good now. There's a bit of stuff left in here, like the stuff we need. And then in the back seat here, actually, we have an original. Well, first of all, my buddy got me this. A Model 944 Turbo. My buddy Kevin Vo. Awesome guy. I need to see that guy again. But an original 944 manual. This is it. I mean, this is as legit as it gets. But we got to figure out where to mount this. Because I already know I'm going to stick the ECU right where the stock location is. You can actually see I've already marked holes for it. Don't mind the other ones. But I got to figure out where I want to put this guy. So I was thinking on this little plastic box here. I don't know. I really don't have any other spot because of, well, because of this mess. That's the stock wiring. Yeah. It's a mess. So I think I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to mount it up to kind of where I was pointing out earlier. But what I'm going to have to do is because these two tabs sit out way too far. So I'm going to make a metal plate that I will mount to this air box. It's not going to be great because it is the air box, but I'll use two short self-tapping screws to get that in there, then attach this to that metal plate. So let's go cut it out. So what I've done here is I've got it on the plasma table. I'm not going to use the plasma table machine. I'm just going to do it by hand. I'll get it traced out here, and then what I'll do is I'll use my straight edge, which is where I'll use my straight edge steel here, and then I'll line it up, and I'll just use the torch and drag it, cut the square out, clean it up. All right, I got it cleaned up here. And now, I'm just gonna mark some holes right here. So here and here, I'll drill those out. And then in the center there, you can see I got two more marked. I'm gonna punch, drill those out. And I think I'm gonna use riv nuts. I'm not sure yet. To do this, I might do riv nuts, but we'll see. Let's get this drilled out. Remember to put your safety glasses on because you can't hear boobs. And now, the riv nuts. Oh, one side's up. All right, much better. I got both riv nuts in. Now I'm going to make these just a little bit bigger for those self-tapping screws to go through. All right, so we got it installed, well, onto the plate at least. So then now, riv nuts are in there, bolts are in there. Then all I have to do is I'm going to use these really short screws to attach it to that box inside. And then there you go. All right, so I figured it out. I am not going to be able to fit it up there. Well, the way I had it. So I wanted to put it in there like this. But clearly, it doesn't really fit well. It doesn't really fit very well because it gets in the way of this actuator. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to mount it vertically. So I mount like this. It's close to the pedal, but I already checked it cleared. All I have to do really is round these corners off. And then I can still use this hole. I'll re-drill this hole to get it closer. So let's do it. All right, so now I got it, the corners rounded off, so it's sitting there nicer, and you can kind of see how this is gonna fit in there. Let's go just like this. So out of the way of the foot pedal, and I'll sit there like this. I'll get it screwed in, and that'll be that. All right, so she's mounted up in there, at least screwed into the box, and it's actually really strong. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. And now let's go ahead and get the box mounted, so you guys can see this. That's mounted, and honestly, it kind of looks like an ECU. It actually looks really good. I love that up there. That is awesome. And now, if I get in, let's see how it feels to the foot. That's perfect. This isn't even, I mean, it's a little bit in the way, but like, because it does kind of hit. Oh yeah. I think that's going to be pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Let's get this wiring stuffed away. It doesn't actually fit in here properly. I forgot why I had it out, but I had it out for a reason. But you can get it back in there and get it back in place so we don't have to deal with it anymore. I think I had it pulled out to mess with some relays, but yeah, it fits in there like that. I gotta get this out of here, make it look a lot better. But for now, let's get that ECU mounted. All right, so I'm gonna be using these dots closest right there. I'm using those dots. There's one over here. I'm gonna put 2 in. I'll mount the other 2 holes, and I think I'm gonna have to use self-tappers in this one. The seam's a little bit too small, but we'll see when I start cutting and see how it goes. Okay, when I show you guys this is the best way to get in and out of the car when working on it. It's gonna look crazy, but I kid you not, for working on the dash, this is the best way. I have since forgotten how to get into this thing. Like this. Legs behind there, because now I can get down here like this. I can work on everything. It looks crazy, but you know, maybe I should just take the steering wheel off. Anyways, oh my god, I'm stuck. Okay. Surely there's a better way, they say. There's not. All right, 2 holes down. All right, I really don't want to. I want to do rivet nuts and bolts, but I'm going to use some self-taper screws to put it up there for now. I can always drill it out later and do some rivet nuts, but it is what it is. I should really have the cover on for this, but that'll be fine. It's just an ECU, right? I'm actually doing this completely wrong. I'll do the other. All right, so now it's in. Boom. Just under there, and I got access to my ports over here, and then on this side. So now all my wiring plugs on this side. No, I forgot a screw. Well, I'll put that in real quick. So that's what it looks like so far. Still a bit of a mess, but I hook this up to my knock sensors, but put the cover on, and then my other wiring's over there. Honestly, it's gonna look pretty good. I'm going to leave this off because I have to take this back down so we can put the cables into the harness and do some other things. But that looks pretty good. Otherwise, I'm honestly out of time for today. I don't get much time to work on it during the week, but we did get a lot done. Next thing up is going to be the shifter and some other things tomorrow. But since today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, hopefully that wiring block that I ordered wrong, that'll show up on Thursday. All right, otherwise, that's a wrap for Tuesday, so let's get out of here. It's Wednesday. Guess what showed up? Boom. The only question is it the right one, though? Looks to be it. Let's try it. All right. See ya. Oh, yeah. Perfect. That's the one. Awesome. So now we just gotta pin it all. Oh, and then this is a Molex connector. I think it's CMC is their line. I don't recommend it because I'm using my own crimping tool for this, and basically it's not the right tool. The correct crimping tool is like $1,000. There's a lot better, I don't know about better, but there's a couple different connectors you can use for firewall connections. This is one of the cheaper ones, but the tool's expensive. Otherwise, like, you get into some of the the aerospace ones, and you're spending way more money than you want to. So I've already kind of done the stuff that's just kind of tedious, which is just this line here, and then the injector rail. So that stuff's already done. Plus, I wanted to figure out how to use this stuff. It's this big sort of, I don't know. It starts out like this, and then you heat it, and it shrinks down. I don't want to call it heat shrink, because it doesn't have the glue on the inside. All it does is it protects the outside of the wire. But I've got this done. So now what I need to do is wire up, or I guess put it in that heat shrink
all the stuff that goes underneath here, the throttle body, and then the sensor down at the bottom, and otherwise, pretty much ready to go. Otherwise, I mean, I do have, this is for the crank sensor, is this wire right here? So that's done. The one for the coolant temp sensor is also done, because those are going to run pretty independently from the rest of the wiring harness. So that's what's left on the engine side. Well, actually, I take that back. We have to run a power and ground wire, which actually I have them right there, the red and the yellow, and then cover those up, get those into that solid state relay block, and then do all the wiring under the dash. So I'm not really going to show you guys. I'm just going to do a time lapse, and you can see how long it takes and kind of the process behind that. If you guys want to see more of this sort of stuff, which I don't think most people do, most people don't like wiring, just ask me, just put it in the comments, but most people don't like wiring, so here we go. Now I'm going to start using these pins to pin it all up. This is a bit of a tedious process because I don't have the right crimper. So I'm using this one, but the actual one is like $1,000. That's really why I don't recommend using this product, is because the tool itself to crimp them is very expensive. I think the connectors themselves, like this was like 15 bucks. The housing is like another 15, 20 bucks. And then these pins are a couple cents piece. So like in total, maybe 50 bucks. But in the tool, if you want to buy one, it's $1,000. So yeah, very expensive. I didn't buy the tool. I have one of these normal crimpers. It's very similar to like a standard crimp. So I don't know why the tool's so expensive. In any case, but I'm gonna start pinning all these out. And then what I'm gonna do is this is pretty much its own harness by itself. I have to solder this one up. So that's why it doesn't have a sheath on it. Solder this in, because it needs the ground soldered in. Solder in the 5 volt. Really, it's coming together, so you guys are going to see that now. She's got trust issues. She's got trust issues. Maybe I do too. Maybe I do too. I came home with flowers to find her cheating in the shower with another woman. This is pretty much the harness in its entirety. Obviously, all these aren't tied together, but you can see kind of how it breaks down is we've got under the manifold, and then I don't have these connectors yet, but I'm getting them. So under the manifold to oil temperature, oil pressure, then we've got MAP, and then the, MAT, so the mass air temperature, and then the MAP, and then throttle position sensor, PWM, a couple other things. I have this plug, I just need to go get it. And then on this end of things, we have the crank position sensor on this end. And then we go up to the fuel rail, so then VVT, fuel injectors, and then we have the cam sensor, and then the final injector. And then over here, we break out again, then we go to the coil packs, and that's this whole assortment here with their own grounds, and then coolant sensor on its own branch there too. So it breaks down into pretty much 5 different parts, if you think about it like that. So now I'm just going to put all the pins together, wire up these, or solder together the 5 volt, 12 volt lines, and then the signal ground. I never listen. She thinks I'm just a loser. I'm better off if I just lose her. I've become trapped because her name's still on the leash. She got trust issues. She's got trust issues. Maybe I do too. Alright, here's how it pretty much looks right now. I got all these ends tied together because all of these pins are going to go on the block. And then I have my power wires out here because I'm going to separate it from all the signals and everything. Plus I got this connector here so I can disconnect them. So what will happen is in the car, I'll hit a switch and then a relay will turn these on, or 2 relays will turn these on, and then everything else goes in this block. So that's what's left here. So
We're getting close. Well, guys, it's 11:30 at night on Wednesday, and I'm almost done with it. It took me a little bit longer to get some of that soldering done than I thought, but what do you do? So, that's a wrap for Wednesday. So, time to finish this up. Let's get to it. So, I actually wanted to show off how I'm pinning some of these things, because I just had one that the pin failed on, so I'm going to have to cut it off and then put a new pin on it. So, new pins on the strip. Now, usually this is a strip for like running it in a machine, but this is the cheaper option, so I can just easily break it off, and there's a pin. So if you look on here, you can see that this pin has these back pins, the back grabbers, and then these middle grabbers. These back ones grab the insulation, and then these middle ones grab the copper wire itself. So, we'll twist it, because there's a bit of a debate whether you twist the wire or not. I've always done it twisted. I've actually done it both ways, but I prefer twisted. And then you put it in there and make sure that the copper wire fits in there nice, and then the insulation will fit in there. This is actually too long for these pins. I bumped you. Sorry about that. Excuse me. My mama taught me better. But you take off just a little bit. There you go. And then what I like to do is I like to feed it in here. So all I have to do is feed the wire in from the side. So it's already locked in there, so I don't have to hold this and try to line it up at the same time. All I have to do is take my wire, which is obviously all connected together now. It's just a bit of a pain. Take it over here, run it in there. Run it in there like that. Make sure I'm where I'm at with the copper. And then press it. Oh, I'll pull that out just a little bit. Hold on. Just like that, and then press it down. So I like to put it in the vise because it's way easier to manage than trying to do put it in there and then crimp it, and you're sliding around and it doesn't get right, so I use the vise. Anyways, back to the action. Alright, so that right there is pretty much the completed harness. I have all the pins in and they're in here. And then this is this end, so this is pretty much done. What the hell? What's that bug doing? But this is pretty much it right here. I had a couple loose ends to tie up. I'm going to do that off camera and just get that done. And then I'll probably throw it in the car and see if it works. You have got to be kidding me. I was putting in some of these larger wires in there, in this one, right there. The pin broke off inside, and this is the wire that it came off of. So now when I'm stuck in there, and not only that, I don't have another one of those big connectors because I'm out. The connectors like these, the much bigger ones rather than these wires, you can see, much bigger connectors. I don't have any more of these. Oh my God, what am I going to do? All right, I've got the shield and the plug, just tidied some things up, got the wires in here, and then I'm going to wait to put the tape around this end here, where all these connections come out, in case I have to take this cover back off and get in there and test some stuff, or, you know, whatever I have to do. But otherwise, let's get this in the car and see how it looks. All right, I got the harness kind of laid out in the car here, so now we're going to push all the clips in. All right, so now that everything's kind of hooked up here, we're going to put the inside of the harness in and then push it out of the firewall. And I actually made a little plate here. This is the outside of the firewall that keeps that plug in place. So let's go do that. All right, so unfortunately, since the 4 ground wires, which are these, you know, that pin broke off inside the plug on that side. So I don't have any more pins, plus I have to take that apart to fix it. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these 4 ground wires up in half. And I'm going to run it out a different hole in the wiring harness, so they won't run through the plug. They'll run through the hole in the firewall, and I'll show that in a second. But I'm going to cut these up and run it through there instead. It's not what I want, but unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with right now. All right, so I'm not going to be able to put this in and have you guys watch it at the same time. But all you need to know is it's going all the way up there. So I'm going to reach my hand up in there, lay down, and really push it up in there. So I'll have you guys on the other side, though, so you guys can just watch it peek out.
All right, it's in and hooked up. You can see the plug right there, hooked up into the firewall. It's screwed in. That all works. Now these wires aren't ran the way I want them to be. I should have gone underneath this with the plug, but I didn't. So I don't have to take it out again because I want to do some testing. If I have some extra time, I can make it look better and just plug it in the other way, but it's fine this way and it works. I couldn't find my connector for my oil pressure sensor, so it's not that important. I still have the one that was stock with the car, so I'm just going to use that instead. I can hook up that vacuum line, don't worry about that. But for now, I'm pretty much out of time, so yeah.
All right, it's 11:30 again tonight, and I'm just wrapping some stuff up here. I'll show you.
So I got some of this cleared out in here. I just hooked up the ECU to its plugs, kind of see how that's going to look. So I'm going to have to loop this up and kind of hide it away, and then separate the signal lines from the rest of the lines, and then a couple other things to button up here. But it's coming along really good. Then I've got my power, ground, and this is my starter cable. And then, of course, the AEM gauge. I had to cut this down and wire that up into the harness and make sure that's good. Have a spot for that, too. Otherwise, you can see that's in there, so I'll hook that stuff up. But it's coming along really close. And here's the engine bay. Engine bay, I got to deal with these hoses. I got to redo a lot of this. But I got my grounds on. Make sure that's on. Connectors are all plugged up. I have to run power to these from the inside, so that won't be a big deal, but it's coming along and looking really good. So
that's a wrap for Thursday. A lot of challenges today. A lot of things did not get accomplished. A couple of things broken, but that's really how it goes. We had to have a lot of more progress tomorrow. Hopefully I have more time tomorrow. But yeah, that's how it goes. So, all right.
I'm honestly surprised the ECU even turned on. Oh my god, let's go, baby. Man, I had myself all sorts of turned around on this wiring. What was that noise? What? No way. Hey, I just want to shout out a couple people that have helped me along my way here, including the main one, who is the tuner throughout this whole video, is Chase and Brandon. Great guys, helped me a lot with the tuning. Setting the motor up. He's very, very knowledgeable on tuning in this engine and a ton of other things. He's super smart. The next person I want to thank is my dad on this project, because he helped me a lot with things where I needed an extra hand or two. You know how that goes, putting an engine in or just whatever it is. I also want to thank Mike Day for helping us out when we had some tuning questions and some setup questions. Thank you so much, that really helped, especially with the alternator, which we figured that out and that'll be posted in a later video, but thank you. The next person I want to thank is not actually a person, it's a group. The 07K, everything, 944 swap groups, everybody has been helping me out with this thing, trying to figure out what's going on and my issues as I go along and learn and overcome these issues. A huge thank you to everybody who's helped me out on this project so far. Even if I didn't list your name, you guys know who you are in the groups, social media, everywhere. Thank you guys so much. Hey, and thank you for sticking around for the entire video. That really means a lot to me, and I thank you for your support. Otherwise, part 2 for this thing will be out real soon. Otherwise, if you need another video to watch, you can always go back and watch the previous video where I explain how I made the custom parts for this thing, kind of how it went together, and some of the things that you didn't get to see in this video. So go back and watch that.